That suggests, of course, that Meghan Markle is the queen of false starts. You know, suddenly she's doing a podcast, then she's not, and then she's put it on a hiatus, then she might do it. And it was a little bit like the jam thing, wasn't it? You know, she couldn't decide whether she was doing it or not. And that whole claptrap that she spoke about with Emma Greed about, oh, you know, it just gave people so much joy. It's a pot of jam, love. You know, it's not winning the lotto or the lottery or something. Get a grip. But of course, this is exactly what she's quite good at, making the absolute nothing sound mildly interesting, but it doesn't necessarily translate into a business acumen, and that's part and parcel of the problem. You see, as Meghan sat down with Emma, she wanted to sort of highlight the fact that she was successful, and she did have a little bit of humility, despite what people were saying about how she needed to build the brand and grow and all that sort of stuff. But really, Meghan's not into this for the long run. You can sense that she's bored rigid doing it, you know. She thought it was going to be an instant success, that it was just money pouring in, and what she's realised is, in fact, the first run has been far more difficult. As I told you in a recent video, behind the scenes, her partners, I would say more wholly owned partners, were pushing hard. They want something to hook the next season, the fake second series, on. Hence the reason she's had to come back up with some product which at the time of recording this should actually be now available to buy. But again, we're going to have all that rubbish about, oh, it's a sellout, etc. But behind the scenes, there were more problems with this particular, well, shall we say, revelations. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums, nice to see you. How are you? I'm all right, thank you, not so bad. Well, I'm trying to keep cool, you can imagine, can't you? You just can't keep drinking too much water, you know what I'm saying, chums, when you're out and about. Well, not unless you know where they are, you know what I mean? You just suddenly think, right, where am I now? You're sort of darting into hotels and they're, oh, good afternoon. Yes, which way is it, you know? That's the problem, isn't it, with the heat? They say keep hydrated, they don't tell you the other bit though, do they? That's the problem. I know. I'm only pulling your leg, but I'm sure we've all had that problem, you know. And the other thing is as well, a bit of advice, don't have turkey sandwiches. I've just had some. Make you really thirsty. I never thought that. I know, shouldn't, well, yes, I know. Well, this is the thing afterwards. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? But I fancied them at the time. Turkey salad, if you must know. Yes, a little splash of salad cream. There you go. I thought I was being healthy. Dry as a bone now, but there you go. Let's get back to your royal story of the day. Now, interesting this, as I said, Emma sat down, supposed to be this kick around interview that was going to set the record straight. And Meghan, as we know, has been using these interviews really as clapbacks on things that, you know, because her new team are literally going through everything stitch by stitch and saying, right, this needs readdressing, could you bring this up, etc. And that's the idea. You know, people just say things and then she sort of works it back into the plot. I wasn't doing that, or I didn't want to do that, you know, the sort of thing. But what was interesting at the 11th hour, and one of the bigger things that Emma thought she could discuss, was a recent thing that was put out by Meghan's team. And this was the fact that apparently, and as ever we have to say allegedly, Meghan was going to be moving into the hospitality catering industry, you know, becoming the new Waldorf as whatever, because she was looking at the sort of idea of doing hotels. And this really would have given a good hook onto the interview. As I said, you know, I'm not against Emma. I can see what she's trying to do as an interviewer. She's thought this is quite something, at least. We're not talking about jam, you know, so there's a little bit more. Now, at the 11th hour, as ever, what happened, and as ever, I have to say, allegedly, one of the team came through and said, oh, you know, we don't really want to, it's a little too early to discuss that. So all of that was wiped away. My surmise on this, and this is what I've been told from an excellent source, is that Meghan is literally just playing with the media all the time, dropping things like I might do hotels, dropping things I might do Dob biscuits, a wine range, fashion. She's throwing as many things out there like a felt board to see which sticks and which one the media will stick with to keep repeating it, so that if she thinks that will work, that's the route she'll go down. I mean, she pointed out that most people thought I was going to go down the makeup and beauty route, but no, you know, it was the fact that these jams were giving so much joy. The problem is she tried that already by utilising her makeup artist Daniel to let them know that this was the makeup he used, but there were no offers coming from all of those brands that they listed. In fact, many had to be taken down for the association, again, allegedly. So while Emma may have thought she could have said, well, who's going to be checking into Meghan Towers? Well, at the 11th hour, once again, that particular idea had to be scrapped. And this is now the problem for anybody going forward who wants to sit down with her. And there are now less and less people that want to do this, because what people want are real answers, real authenticity. And the bottom line is people just sugarcoating things and agreeing with her narrative. It's run dry. Meghan knows this, hence the reason Emma had to readdress it on social media. You get the picture? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.